He's such a smart, funny guy, and he's gives you a lot of freedom on set. He's a very collaborative guy. Just a wonderful director and a terrific writer as well. I thought it was a really unique film, really a different way in for kind of story of the teenage years. I had not read or seen something like this before, so I thought it was really fascinating. Yeah, mental, really damaged and brilliant. Like obviously a brilliant kid who just has a lot of damage, and this is just a really crazy way to work your way through it. Well, I think she doesn't think she has any innocence, but I think over the course of the film, you find that she has a lot of innocence to lose. And the question is, has she lost it or not by the end of the movie?
So I play Luke. Erica's stepbrother, fresh out of rehab, kind of a trouble kid. Okay. That's me.
You're the imbalance,
The imbalance is great. That's a great way to call it. Luke eventually befriends and learns to love Erica just like anyone would, and would do anything for her after kind of a strange her taking him out of his shell and willing to help him and push him to the extreme, and kind of become more of a brave person through something like that, which was kind of the relationship between the two characters. It's different because I don't think that there's a line to the movie. I think it's very real, and these circumstances that happen and they come up, you have to deal with them in certain ways, and they are awkward and they are bizarre and they are weird and funny, and that's today's day and age and these kids, and there's no line that's not crossed, if that makes sense. Absolutely, the Valley needs a credit, for sure. Cast, perfect. Yeah. I mean, it's just, those are what the kids are like in the Valley, and how life can get so extreme so quickly, and they don't really, like I said again, they don't really toe a line, and that's so much like the Valley. Those kids learn life really quickly, and everything happens really fast for them, if that makes sense. I would consider it a dark comedy, dramedy, absolutely, something like that, which is really interesting for me to play because I've never played something so dark and so dramatic before, but it was a fantastic experience. I grew a lot as a person getting to do it. Max is great. One of the first things that Max told me, when he wanted me to play the character, was take Adam Sandler and Punch Drunk Love and make it your spirit animal. And from that moment on, I was like, that's fantastic. That's the coolest job I've ever been told, so thank you. It was great, yeah. What makes me happy? It was just an experience of getting to work with such talented actors and actresses. Zoe's amazing to work with. She definitely grew my skill as an actor and pushed me to a level that makes it real, and you have to go there and there's no phoning it in. She was really great at that. That's something that I took away from the movie, that I was blessed to get to be a part of it. What's next for me? I recently worked on another independent low-budget movie. I'm excited to see where that goes, see where they push that and get to go with those people down that journey as well. And also, I'm home. I live in Chicago a lot of time, and I audition from there. I also get to work with young actors and coaching them, really great stuff. So I'm always busy doing something in film and working with my family. So I get to do that all the time as well.
I try to look at the script and the what footage looks like, and try to give my interpretation of what I think, what elements I'd like to bring, based on, also with the director, what the motivations are for the main character, main story arcs, all that kind of thing. We look at sound, palettes and things like that, and way to explore different characters with sounds, things like that. It's a movie about youth, I think, and rebellion. We try to make the score evolve over time, so in the beginning it's kind of fun and kind of loose, and then it gets more dangerous and more, as the stakes get raised, the music is more dramatic, and so we kind of evolve that way. So, overall it doesn't start off, it starts off rebellious in one way just because of, I guess, it's fun, it's synthesizers that are playing some fun, arpeggios and things like that. Then it gets a little darker and takes a tougher turn and darker turn as the movie gets more dangerous for everyone.
She's dynamic, she's brilliant, she's hardworking, she's unpredictable. She is, one of the greatest, collaborators I've ever worked with. It was a really well written character that I helped shape, but the original writer Alex McAulay created a character that reminded me of my favorite movies that I used to watch when I would steal VHSs from my brother and as a kid growing up in the San Fernando Valley in the 80s. But all those movies always starred men, and this movie starred, had a woman as the lead, which I found very interesting. Yes, it's there's no sexuality or intimacy about it. It's extreme. It's strictly a way for her to have some semblance of control in her life, and for a character who feels very little control. I think it's a movie about her regaining her innocence and feeling by the end she kind of can be a child again. I just am really happy that people are watching Zoey's performance and reacting so strongly to it. That makes me really happy. It's a character that she is looking for some control in her life. She can't find it at home because with her mom there's no boundaries. They're more like sisters than they are parents. And She has found a way to make money with her friends that is illegal, but what they believe has good intentions behind it, and it all goes very wrong. It's where I grew up. It's where I used to ride my bike around town and get into trouble as a kid, and it was really personal, and I really am happy that I got to shoot there. It's just where I grew up. It's what I know, and it's been immortalized in great movies like E.T. and so on and so forth, but I thought that there was room for our take on it. Zoey's performance and the work that she did in it and all of the great actors that were a part of it.
I'll be seeing it for the first time tonight, so I wish I could give you more of a scoop, but I remember enjoying being in it. That was a big splash for me. Max is he's a ball of energy. He's very positive. I heard him great in it, so it's going to be exciting to see a great performance as usual from me. I think that's going to be a hit.
I think where a lot of adolescent stories portray a loss of innocence, this is about the regaining of innocence. This is a story about a teenage vigilante taking revenge on a alleged child molester, and it's a dark comedy, and it's really fun and really bold, and yeah, I loved it. There's a real depth and a real fragility to her sort of male bravado that she presents and hopes people perceive her as this just like I don't know if I can curse here, no fucks given attitude, but really at the core there's this deeply sensitive little girl. Yeah. I think control and power are pretty much the same thing. Yeah, so it's for control and for power. We shot this in 16 days, so where I think a lot of independent movies want to be like, we're the small, we all do the same thing. We're like, we're the smallest movie. It was really hard to shoot, but it is true. This was very, it was a quick shoot, and it was really tough, and it was a lot of love, and Max and I basically got a second mortgage on homes to make this work, but we are super excited for the world to see it March 16th. Go see it.